debt collection companies, if you pay them what they give you, they give you an option to pay it like at a lower rate, but then they'll put something on your credit like that'll still fuck you up. You know what I mean? Like it's not, even though you paid the debt, you no longer owe it. Now there's something on your credit saying that you got fucked up. But a good company is going to negotiate with them and say, okay, you've been after this guy for this long. He's got this debt. He's going through this hardship. Can you chop it down? Because you know you didn't buy it at that rate. You know what I mean? Can you chop it down? And then when he pays you, because he's going to pay you in one sum, don't put anything negative on his credit report that says that he took settlement offer or some shit like that, you know? Mm-hmm. Say paid in full. And they'll negotiate that shit because they're not going to get they don't expect to get their money for like 10, 20 years.
You mean like those companies you see commercials for, like we'll talk to your creditors for you?
Those companies that you see commercials for are only to, in my opinion, to make you aware that there's companies out there. The best companies, you won't see a commercial for. And you got to do your research to find them. And I know of one because I'm using one.
Okay.
They don't have commercials.
My credit is shit. But I've been rehabilitating my credit on my own. Yeah. I didn't use one of those programs. I thought about using one of those programs, but I was like, I can do this shit.
The program
I had Nate syndrome. I was like, I can do this shit myself.
Oh, no, it's not. You know what the problem with that is? Because they don't even make it easy for you to get in contact with them. You know what I mean? They don't make it easy for you to reach out to the right people.
They do, because when they send you those letters.
It depends on the company. You might be lucky and have companies that have, but there's a point where they stop sending you the letters.
Yeah.
And then you can't get a hold of them because they don't put their number on your credit report.
What it is you have to when you go and look at your credit report, you see what company it is, and then just look for their contact
research them, and then hopefully they pick up. Dude, I know about this stuff.
I know because I'm doing it too. That's why I know too.
So it's like, you know, I work with this company that they have lawyers. They can even do shit where they can get the whole thing removed. You know, like completely gone. Like,
yeah, you have an advantage over like maybe
that company is fucking up your credit and they're not even doing it lawfully. And they could see it because they know, and they'll be like, actually, this one you don't even have to worry about that.
Yeah,
I lost already 6 different companies off of my credit.
Yeah, you're paying to have that advantage over me, the person that's doing it itself. I just chose to do it myself, and maybe it's taking longer because I did it myself, but I'm getting to a better place now. Like my student loans is out of default now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I got that back on track, and I paid off a few different little credit cards and stuff from college.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So it's getting to the point where I'm starting to go up. Like my credit score went up like 68 points in the last 2 months.
What this company does, because there's companies on the TV that they'll be like, pay us $30 a month or something like that, or like $50 a month or whatever. This company's different. This company don't ask for no whatever. What it does is it sets up this online account for you, and then you make deposits into that account on a bi-weekly, weekly, monthly, whatever you set up with them. Mm-hmm. You make deposits into that account. That account is yours. You get the rights to the account. You can pull out your money, but they take 1%.
Okay.
And what they're doing is when you put money into this account, every time, let's say you put 100 a week, in 4 weeks, now you have 400. Once you have about 400 or 500, they take that money and they say, okay, we're going to call one of your debtors. And then we're going to say, all right, how much is it? 800. If we give you 400 right now, will you chop it in half and take it off his credit? Yes, we just want our money. Yeah. Okay, you have the money in the bank. So they go, here's your 400. They call you. Is it okay? Is it okay? You like the deal? You like the deal? I like the deal. Boom.
Okay.
And you set up that, you know, you put that money in the account a little increment at a time.
And they just charge 1% of whatever's in there?
1%.
How could they do that and only charge you $5?
Because you're not their only account. They've actually been around for a very long time, and this isn't the only thing that they do. Okay. This is like step 1. You know what I mean? Like they have other things that they do.
Okay.
They make money in different ways.
They make money in different ways. You know what I mean? They're a very diversified company. And the cool thing I like about this company is when I first started with this company, they didn't even have an app on your phone. Like they didn't have one. And I just got an email where they said that they're going to email me my password and whatever to be able to access all my information on an app and on a website. So you have like the top 3 companies. One of them has a lot more technology, but not as fast results. And then a company that has very good results, but not that much technology. And you just kind of decide. They both do the same thing, but you decide what's more important to you, having like an app that you can look at every day or someone that's going to bring you results. So I went with that one. And then all of a sudden they caught up on the technology and they let me know. So I know that they're growing. They stay in contact with me. They remember my whole situation. When we talk, it's like talking to, you know, it's not like, and it's like a luxury because I make more money now, so I can pay for that. And they don't dog me. They're not like, you know, you can't make this payment today. They just let you know, okay, well, if you can't make this payment, just know that that's going to extend how long it takes for us to help you.
Yeah.
But that's about it. They just do that. It's like they have to say that.
Yeah.
But then they don't give you no beef.
And so
when I lost my job, I stopped it for 2 months.
Okay.
You know what I mean? No hassle, no nothing. I said, look, I can't pay for this right now. They're like, well, do you want to cancel the program or do you want to just stop it for a few months and then we could start it up again?
Yeah.
And I ended up getting a job and I started it right back up. You know what I mean? Then they knocked off a whole nother debt. So I want to put people onto this because it worked for me.
So what's the name of it?
I know. I was looking it up, but then I get passionate about talking about it.
That's what's up. But you have officially put them on.
National Debt Relief.
National Debt Relief.
National Debt Relief. Hit them up. 888-660-7427.
They have an app in the App Store?
They have to send me the email, so it might not be ready yet. But they said it was going to come. They said that it's going to come in a few weeks. I got an email saying it's coming in a few weeks. What's the website? Yeah, so it's nationaldebtrelief.com.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I mean, because it sounds like a good program, man. I might even look into doing it myself. Maybe get some help.
They tell you what your net worth is. They tell you they look at your credit report. They have you set up with like a free. They got me set up with Credit Karma. You know,
I use Credit Karma too.
Yeah, I use Credit Karma.
Yeah,
you know, so
that's how I check my shit.
That's like those commercials for freecreditreport.com. It's not free, and
it's not even as good as Credit Karma.
Yeah,
right.
It's like Credit Karma is like a serious inquiry service, and then all those other ones are just kind of like weird gimmicks.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what
like
I mean?
Credit Karma, they make their money on credit card referrals. Like they'll give you advertisements. They'll say based on your credit score, you can, like, this is the best credit card you can probably get. Do you want this one?
Right underneath.
Yeah,
your
and it worked
in between the different sections.
Right, and I don't want to say I fell for it. I needed a credit card at the time, and I got one from Credit Karma.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Well, you know, my problem is I didn't have anything reporting positivity on my credit report.
Right.
Everything was just saying negative stuff.
Yeah.
And because of that, I couldn't even get a credit card.
Right.
So once I started making more money, then I started paying off debts. Then Credit Karma showed me that my credit was going up. I haven't applied for a credit card in like 3 years because I knew I was going to get denied. You know, so what was the point? Mess up my credit more. And then Credit Karma was like, hey, your credit is actually this good. You can get this card. And I did it. And it came. And then once I got that card up to a good point, 6 months, good payments, then they were like, now you can get the Big Brother card. And I was like, yeah. And then I got it. And now I'm done. Now I got good stuff reporting. Now I got a car loan all of a sudden. You know, I was always doing buy here, pay here. Yeah. Now I actually have an actual car loan. You know, like
yeah, that's what's up.
And then it's like building it up.
Yeah, I mean, same thing with my situation. I just did it by myself. You know, I started having some extra money to be able to put towards shit and saving and all that kind of stuff. So I went and opened a savings account, you know, with a bank, and I used that money to open a secured credit card. So now that's positive credit because it's a regular credit card, but it's secured by the money that they took out of my savings account. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I got the secured credit card. Like, basically, you just have to have a certain amount in your account. They'll take that and kind of put that in a frozen account where you draw off of that for your credit card, but you have to make payments. You know, you have a minimum payment. You have the interest rate is sky high. You know what I mean? But it's positive credit to put towards. So I got I went through a program to get my student loans out of default. I didn't have much in student loans, but what I did have was in default. So it was tearing up my credit for a long time.
Yeah,
like
I know
to the point where I couldn't even get I can't even get tax returns.
Yep,
I don't even get tax returns back.
They just take all that.
Yeah, they
garnish it immediately.
They're not garnishing like my wages. I'm not at I never got to that point. Tax return. But I was at the point where they took I'm probably not at there anymore. But I was at the point when they took my tax returns.
So the credit company tells the U.S. government whatever return Clyde's going to give to us?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I didn't even know that.
It can happen.
Thing.
Oh, yeah.
The entire thing. Sometimes you can get partials, but they just put a lien against it.
Right.
Yeah, it happened to me for 2 years, and I couldn't even start school because I couldn't get another loan.
Yeah.
So I had to make 10 on-time payments to bring it out of default.
Yeah, that's the same thing I did.
And then I was able to go back into school, and then they deferred my loan.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at with it. I just got it out of
There's a lot of people going through the same thing.
Yeah.
You know,
as I'm saying, a lot of people can take from this some of the things that we did. I mean, and try to see if they can do that, because debt and credit is everything. Like, let me explain something to you. Where I grew up, and I don't know, this may be true for you, Steven. Where we grew up in our culture, they tell you that credit is bad. They don't tell you that debt is bad. They tell you that credit is bad. The whole system is bad. Like, try to just work with cash. Try to work with cash for the rest of your life.
Just avoid the whole situation.
Right. Save as much cash as you can to be able to retire at some point. That was all that we were told as kids. There was nothing about 401ks. There was nothing about any kind of savings, any kind of, like, it was just go to work, save a little bit of money every time you get paid, and you'll be okay. Like, the whole, you getting credit cards are evil. Like, they're not evil. It's evil not to teach people how credit works, and
exactly
to be able to be able to handle credit and not go into debt.
For us growing up, we as soon as I was legally allowed to own a credit card, I got one, and then I just paid for like one thing a month, and then I paid it off every month. Like, I bought like a Snickers bar, or like I used it to fill my tank once, and then I paid it off, and I did that from 18 to like 22. So I never actually used a credit card for a purchase more than $50 ever. Yeah. And then I graduated from college, and now I have a kick-ass credit score. It's like almost 800.
Right.
Yeah.
And we weren't taught that,
because it's all about payments. It's all about making your payments on time and the length of your credit history, and then usage. How much of your credit are you actually using?
Right. You can't use have 30%,
and then you also have to have a diverse. It's got to be like 2 credit cards, a student loan, an auto loan, maybe a mortgage when you get older, and then that's it.
Right.
Like, that's about as much as it gets.
And then
people are getting so many credit cards now for everything.
Yeah, and then your income to debt ratio, and that comes into play.
I recently read an article about the guy who has the highest credit score in the world, but he's saying that on average, for the people that have the highest of high credit scores, you're gonna have like 7 credit cards with like different amounts of credit on those credit cards. Like, you're still like using a lot of credit to have a high credit score.
But you know what happens?
In essence, it's the system is really weird.
You know what happens when you have a very, very high credit score? All of a sudden, businesses start wanting to work with you to get business loans. And then you get paid off of it. This is stuff that happens. Yeah. If you get a 800 credit score, you're going to start being approached by businesses or startup companies that want to get big loans, and then they're going to pay you on that. You know? You can actually start making money. And then what happens is, like, good credit scores, sometimes apartment complexes check your credit. Sometimes jobs.
Every time.
Well, I'm being like, you know. Yeah. But I'm saying jobs are going to want to check your credit score. You can't get a good job unless you have a good credit score. So it's like important because in a way, the dependence on it is what is going to tell people about your responsibility. You know what I mean?
You definitely get treated totally different. Me and my dad went into a Mitsubishi because we saw an ad for like a really cheap lease. It was like a brand new car. We like $1,000 down.
Oh yeah,
like $200 a month.
$200 a month
for like a brand new car. And I was like, we need a car that's time. Let's go get one. My dad walked in and said, we want this car. And then they ran back, they were checking the computer, and they're like, that was a misprint ad. Sorry, this is the actual price. And my dad said, okay, never mind, goodbye. And we just turned around and walked out, and then they had already ran my dad's credit, and they went on the PA system and started yelling at my dad to get back inside.
Steve!
I'm sorry, Mr. Overton, please come back.
Can you please come? You can have anything.
Yeah.
You can have the shirt off my back.
My daughter.
And then they showed us like how much it cost them, how much that misprint makes no sense, and how if they sold it to us for that price, they would actually lose money. They would not have any profit at all.
And they still did it.
And they still did it.
And he still did it.
They still did it because they said
because
that
they wanted him.
They get like a bonus if they sell X amount of those cars, and ours is one more closer to that. They didn't actually make any money on it. But they knew they were going to get the money for a fact.
So you see what I'm saying? This is why I said in the beginning when we were talking about how when you parent your kids or whatever, like the fundamentals make such an impact on your future life.
Because that wasn't our fundamentals.
Think about this. Think about how, and this is maybe kind of crazy, but a long time ago it hit me, and maybe I learned it somewhere. I never know when to give credit to someone or whatever. But I don't want to somebody's going to call me and be like, hey, man, I told you that. You know? You didn't even say. No, but think about this. Like when you're a kid, they tell you to color in the lines, right? You know, your coloring books, they emphasize on coloring in the lines, right? And then that translates to what? When you're older, driving in between the lines.
Okay.
Right? Think about that thought. Like homework. You got to bring your homework on time every day. You got to make your payments on time every month.
There are rules in this world. You stay in your lane.
You stay
do
in
what
your
you're
lane.
supposed to do.
and you be responsible. It's you know, it's funny, but it's also like the rules.
I dig it.
It's kind of like I don't know, what am I trying to say?
Social
the roadmap.
Saying there's a correlation between literally drawing inside the lines as a 5-year-old and having a clean arrest record when you're older.
It's social conditioning, man.
Good credit score.
It's social conditioning. Like China's not the only ones that do it. It's social conditioning. They're saying, okay, this is how you need to live your life. If you color in the lines, you are right. If you don't color outside the lines, you're wrong.
And like that wasn't a situation where my dad said, "Come on, Dave, let me teach you a lesson about credit. Let me just school these guys with Mitsubishi." No, that just happened. And I was like,
to cover
"That's crazy."
Inside the lines.
Cover and
Is that your Asian Italian?
Not at all.
Can we give your Asian Italian guy a name?
Spicy the meatball.
All right, so is the Asian Italian hybrid guy? His name should be something. It's Mario. Mario.
Yeah,
it's me, Mario.
Mario.
Asian Italian guy, Steve's characters and shit.
Mario.
But yeah, but anyway, what I was saying, like I've said this to some of my family members because I worked at a bank, and that's when because I had to look at other people's accounts all day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, no bullshit. Like, but I was in customer service. That's what we did. We looked at people's accounts, told them why they got charged this fee, why, you know, what ACH came in and what the new balance is.
Saw how avoidable those charges were.
Right. And also seeing how people structured their finances. I got to see that, you know, the people that had the biggest balances seem to all have their finances balanced. I mean, kind of worked out in the same way, like their online banking and all that, like having separate accounts for separate things, you know, having varied accounts and different types of accounts, you know, and naming those and having specific ACHs going into those at certain times of the year, and then just having those being working accounts and seeing, you know, their credit cards and you know, how they kept their balances low so that they didn't get a lot of interest charged, and also so it reports positively on the credit. So, but these were all things that my community was not told growing up. Like we had no sense of credit and debt and how it was going to affect you as an adult to not have a good credit score, and to take that first credit card that you get when you get to college, that's in your mailbox, literally in your mailbox, and you go, oh, okay, and you sign up for it.
You're saying like money is just like oxygen. You're just using it. You're not saving it. It's just you're working. Here's how much money you get for working, and all this money is for fun, and also there's things to pay for.
Right,
do that.
You're able to do A, B, and C with this with the money that you make. You can save some. You can spend it on bills, and then you have some play money, and that's all that the financial system is to young black kids. Or it may be just inner city in general. Like Steven, is that what you came up with?
I'm trying to think. Like I'm thinking, like as you're saying that, like is that the area that I was around? You know, like at home it was a little different because my parents always told me to like be better with money and like, you know, watch out my credit. But I always did my own thing. Right? I was like hard headed.
But they did say that to you as a kid.
But the area that we were from, I think it was more of like, nobody had enough money for anything, and everybody had credit for everything, and it was always a struggle to make your payments, but you had all this expensive stuff because you had all this credit, and you go to a store, and it was the first thing was like, can we get it on credit? Can we get this on credit? Can we get that on credit? It was like overuse,
right?
Of
and then never pay those bills,
and then, you know, biting off more than you can chew, really.
Yeah,
you know.
But some people just did it because they felt like that was free money, and I'll just never
like,
pay it. And that's like a real thing.
Wait, for credit cards, you're like, this is just free money?
In the hood, that's a real thing.
Yeah, I don't even know that, honestly, growing up, that the one side of my family could even get credit cards, like they could get approved. But I do remember at one point, like them going, or, you know, my my mom going on like a spending spree at like a Rent-A-Center.
Rent-A-Center,
never paying the bills, like
right,
for
they just
like
come and get it.
for like 1 month, like having like the coolest shit, and then for like
having it taken.
Yeah, and then like having it taken. It was just like
Damn.
like for like that was like my birthday gift. Like one time it was like, yeah, like this is this cool shit I got for Rent-A-Center for like a month, and then they're gonna come jack the stuff right back. And so
That's
like
crazy.
Yeah, so
But
I
that's
mean, yeah,
real.
definitely. Like
That's
no,
real.
that's what it is. Like they think that they can get approved for this stuff, but
I think it's like when people are addicted to cigarettes and then they tell little kids like, don't, cigarettes are bad, you know, because they, you know, it's funny because it's like you're smoking them, you're telling me not to do them, but you also are living the effects of being addicted to the cigarettes. And then it's like with credit, it's like, you know, you're currently struggling because you have all this credit. So you just tell your kids like, no, don't. Credit is bad. Credit is evil. Stay away from credit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's not real life. Like, and I'm sure, David, you probably can't even like identify with this.
I've never been in a Rent-A-Center.
With this lifestyle.
yeah.
I don't even know where there is the closest Rent-A-Center.
There's a Rent-A-Center right down the house, the street
this
from my
is
house.
why we have a good podcast from
Right.
different views.
I've no idea about that. I was very scared of credit, but in a different way. Like, you better do this right, not you better just avoid this.
Yeah, but we didn't have that. Do this the right way. There was no right way taught to us.
Right.
It was, don't ever get a credit card. The only good advice you got in at least in my environment coming up, the only good advice you got about credit cards was, don't ever use them.
Yeah, for us it was get one as soon as you can. It's not manipulating the system, but you're kind of dogging it because you're just buying a Snickers bar a month, and then 4 years later you have this glistening credit score.
Yeah.
We really didn't do anything. So they told us how to do that. Granted, my dad's a financial advisor, so I think my situation's a little bit different. But even me and my siblings were always the same way.
A lot different.
But think about it. How many people from where I come from, their father was a financial advisor? Not many.
Right.
You know what I mean? From that generation, like, there's not many financial
Or even
advisors
knew a financial
at that time.
advisor.
I don't know that there's anyone from
Right.
where I'm from that knew a financial advisor.
Or
There's no need for one.
Or would even have that in their vocabulary, financial advisor.
Yeah,
Or-
they
I have
would
never
have
even said the word
absolutely
financial.
Yeah. You know,
Or advisor.
And you never hear a poor person say, "You know, me and my finances, it's not going very well right now."
Need an advisor
my
to
money-
tell me I'm broke.
But like,
my money is funny. That's
Yeah,
that's-
I don't need an advisor to tell me I'm broke. I got it under lock.
I didn't grow up like poor or anything like that, but you know, because my parents always had good jobs, but we still didn't have any like financial advisors or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like just them doing it on their own.
doing what they had to do.
You know, doing whatever they
saving,
knew was the best thing to do.
getting better jobs, saving. You know,
Yeah, I sometimes like want to punch myself because I'm playing catch up now.
Right.
Because, and it wasn't that I came from a.
I'll punch you if you want.
Thank you. It wasn't, you know, it's good to have your friends, you know. So, it wasn't that I came from a poverty kind of
Right.
situation. My struggles were
Self-inflicted.
self-made, you know,
Self-inflicted,
self-inflicted. The pain that I, you know, went through, I did it myself, you know. And now I'm like, okay, I'm older now. That's stupid, you know. Like, now I'm playing catch up, and I'm smarter now, whatever. But some people, they don't even have a good background, you know. They just come from struggle,
Right.
and that's all they know.
They don't even have the cash.
You know.
Like they can't even think about
They
being
don't even
able
have
to
the opportunity
create-
to make the wrong choice.
Yeah.
They're just being raised in wrong choices,
Yeah.
you know.
I'm lucky to be like a hybrid. I had both paths given to me. I could have either chosen to go down one side of my family's path, or I could choose, you know, the polar opposite.
Straight or gay?
Yes.
he's not sure yet.
He's still in the middle of
a
the
hybrid.
fork.
A hybrid.
He's straddling that road.
A hybrid.
He's straddling the
With
road.
both of his genitalia.